We are halfway through August, heading into a weekend. I'm fired up. Glad that you're with us today. I hope you got a good night's sleep last night and every night this week. You have no excuse if you've been listening. We're looking at our personal operating system and our own leadership operating system, you might call it here. And I use that phrase because Mark Miller and I just have written a book. It's going to come out on September the 2nd called Lead Every Day. Got a copy over here behind me inside a big orange title there. It's going to be fun. If you lead any kind of work out in the workplace and you're looking to become a better leader or improve your team's performance or strengthen your organization, that's the work we do. And so we're excited about that. And it's built around our leadership operating system. And so I started thinking about what would my life operating system be? Like the operating system is important. I've got my phone here. I'm holding it up. The phone has an operating system in it. We don't even know it exists, but it's there. It's what filters everything and causes everything to work together. It creates efficiency and speed and processes the apps and the text messages and the emails are all there and all that stuff is happening, but because the operating system is doing its job to create that effectiveness and efficiency. And I think our lives, I know our lives are not phones and they're not, but there's a lot coming at you right now. And I think if you can simplify some of your life by having a great morning routine, and this week we've been talking about an evening routine, I think some of those things are really going to position us to be able to process some of the stuff that comes at us, some of the stress that comes on our lives. And so we had some fun this week. We've talked about all kind of things, closing the loop before bedtime and de-screening and shutting that stuff off. And we've talked about melatonin and I mean, all kind of, if you missed any episode this week, I hope you'll get that. You really will learn some stuff about sleep and some of that. But one of the things I think maybe a little bit of a barrier here to us still getting the rest that we want could be as simple as the environment where you're sleeping. And so before we go in the weekend here, I want to say a couple things about the weekend, and then I want to talk about the environment where we sleep. So let's start with the weekend here. I think sometimes we think the weekend is to catch up on sleep, or the weekend is the time to not sleep at all and just go party and have fun. The studies would show that if you will be consistent 7 days a week and really think about your sleep every day, it's almost like our eating. If you want to think about it this way, that's the way I think about it sometimes. I meet so many people, they'll go out and they'll go for a long run or they'll do a hard workout. And then they'll come in and they'll think, okay, it's okay now for me to eat some crazy sweets or a bunch of cookies or whatever. I earned it because I did this. And that's the old, you can't outwork a bad diet, right? It's your exercise and your nutrition. And I think the same thing when we think about our sleep. We can't just sleep the right way 4 or 5 days a week and expect to be finely tuned and well rested and all that stuff that we really need to be to have the energy to lead at the level that we want to. We really want to reach our potential. And so I want to encourage you to not, take shortcuts on the weekend or now I will say this, weekends are a great time for a really good nap. My wife believes that you turn the golf on a Sunday. That's a really great way to tune out and go to sleep. And I think weekends are a great time to nap and to rest more and to recover some. But I really don't want to upset the rhythms of my sleep too much, even on the weekend. So you get to decide what you want to do. But I think if you're up really late on, both weekend nights and then on Monday you go in and you're just in this fog, I think like we've been talking all week, the last hour of the day affects the first hour of the day. I think the weekend affects the week. And so I want to just encourage you to give that some thought here as we go. But as we think about this environment that we sleep in, I want to challenge you to do a little bit of an inventory on your bedding. As silly and as simple as this may sound, what's your pillow? What's going on with your pillow right now? Do you have a very comfortable pillow? You're going to spend a third of your life on your pillow, on your bed. If I'm you, I know for me, I want to have some very comfortable bedding. I want to have the right weight. I mean, I'm like, I want it cold in my room, and actually, the science would show that there's a certain temperature where you need to sleep. So check that out, look that up. We keep our room at a certain temperature when we're trying to sleep, and then during the rest of the day, it's at a different temperature. And so I'm giving that stuff some thought. I hope you are as well. You may think that's crazy, but you will sleep better if you have the right temperature in your room. I want to encourage you to think about your bedding. Are you in a comfortable bed? You may be on a mattress you've been on for 25 years and the thing's sagging and you're wondering why your back's hurting. It may be because you haven't really paid any attention to that. Again, a third of my life is going to be spent on that bed. And so I want to make sure that I've got a comfortable mattress. I've got a cool room. I've got the right temperature. I got the right covers. I got the right pillow. And one other thing that again, I've been looking at this stuff all week, thinking about it and reading about it. And I can tell you from experience, this is so true. If you have light coming into your room, it's crazy. I was in a hotel room a few nights ago and they had all these little lights, technology all over the room. It was like, are you kidding me? You can't sleep in this room. There's just too many lights. And I'm getting up in the night and trying to tape stuff over the fire. It's like, what are we doing here? I want to make sure that I've got as dark a room as I can. You actually are going to sleep better. You're going to have that restorative sleep, going to deeper sleep if you can create a really dark space. And so you may need some blackout curtains. I know it's crazy these days. The kids have these little sleep pods they put the babies in. I don't know that you need a sleep pod. Actually, there are some athletes who are sleeping in hyperbaric chambers. They got all kinds of stuff going on. You probably can't afford to do that. I'm not going that extreme, but I can get a good set of blackout curtains to make sure that the room is dark and it just lets your body sleep uninterrupted. I guess that's the best way to say it. And so I think the environment matters. So as you go into this weekend, give some thought to your environment. Might be a chance to do a little bit of an assessment, and maybe you need to do, there's probably going to be a Labor Day sale coming up for somebody's going to have a white sale, and you can get some new sheets and pillows and whatever you need if it's time, maybe even a new bed. So you need to swap the mattress. Feel free. I'm all in favor of creating the most comfortable environment you can for a third of your life. It is so important that you get the rest that you need. All right, a lot we've talked about this week. We really want to focus on winning that last hour of the day, preparing ourselves for that great night's sleep. And again, I thought it was important to spend these 5 days on it. We got about an hour of content this week that you can think through a lot of stuff, a lot of practical stuff we've seen. If you need to go back and review those, great. And I would encourage you to have some conversations with the people that you live with. And together, I think you can create a better environment for better rest, which is just going to lead to you dominating the next day, which is what we want. All right. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week for more Winning Begins at Home.